The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 24th day of January, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry.
I'm back.
What's up? Yeah, you're back. I mean, Sherry, I was telling the off-air folks, honestly, I understand our audience, but on Friday, I really wanted to do so bad, and I guess it's the times we're living in. We have a very sensitive group of people, but I wanted to play a prank. I was like, Sherry, folks, Sherry actually is in rehab. She's not able to be here today. But I was like, no, Jamal, this is not the time. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Just not, and then, just how people are. So, but no, Sherry did have a prior commitment, folks, and I am happy to have her back. If you're going to leave a brother on his own, at least leave him some dog food or something. You know what I mean? I never brag for nothing, Shucks.
All of that, Jamal. All of that. Listen, had you played that prank, my phone would have blown up. It already did. It was like, where are you? How come you're not on his show today? I'm just like, I had a work commitment. My mama called. She's like, I'll just go and see if you was okay. I was like, why?
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't see you this morning.
No, folks.
What?
Sherry likes long weekends.
I would say you could leave the house, but motherhood is still, she's always checking in on me.
Yeah. Hey, folks. She loves long weekends. That's all I'm gonna say. But no, I'm glad to have you back. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I honestly,
I did.
It was an interesting weekend. I didn't do much. Traveled back from Bermuda to the U.S. and I watched some. I don't really watch the NFL like faithfully, but I watched all the games this weekend in the playoffs. And if you had never watched the NFL before, this weekend would have made you a fan. Those games were crazy.
It was crazy. Now, I didn't watch him wholeheartedly, but I saw one where he missed the snap. He didn't catch it and was like, what you doing? Yeah. And then, was it Kansas City and Buffalo Bills? They were head to head at the end. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Sherry knows her sports, folks. Look, we may have.
I know a little bit of football, just a little.
a little bit about the American game, folks. We'll let her have that one. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we open the week to discuss a situation involving a sitting government senator. We're also going to discuss how we can gain and maintain employment or create opportunities for ourselves. I spoke at my mom's service last week and I spoke about, she was that kind of person who, no excuses, go out there, find a way. What I'm really, I don't like to see is young people finishing college and saying there's no opportunities, or they're asking for such and such experience. How am I going to get it? Well, I've never been in that situation. Can't relate. And I'm going to help people who may have children, who may be in that position, how we can better prepare ourselves for employment or opportunity. So, but before we go there, don't forget Daily Play. Sherry's guessing a famous quote, famous author of a quote. So we got that. Don't forget the giveaway as well. I'm going to repeat how it works. You have to tune in every day, or you can go back to past episodes. you're going to be given a different letter, sometimes twice a day, but mainly once a day. You must use each letter to determine the words that make up the phrase. Once you believe you've guessed the correct answer, go to our website, thedailyhour.com, fill out the contact us form with your name, email, and answer where it says message. Please note, you must be a subscriber on our website to be eligible to win the $500 prize. We've got quite a few people who have guessed the correct answer already.
Really?
We've got
I
quite a few people.
When I was on here last, it was just one at the time, but quite a few.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. So,
Oh,
folks, we're going to give you a couple letters today. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to today's question. So basically, the Royal Gazette titled "Woman Tells Court Senator Said She Would Not Win Case because of his affiliation." Senator will. Okay, let me reread that. The title of the Gazette article from last Friday is "Woman Tells Court Senator Said She Would Not Win Case because of his affiliation." And so Senator Curtis Richardson, he's the senator in question. The story reads, an elderly woman broke down in tears yesterday as she told a court of the stress caused by a senator's repeated refusal to hand over $19,000 in unpaid rent. Margaret Harvey, who is in her 70s, told the Supreme Court that Curtis Richardson, a Progressive Labor Party member of the upper house and the junior national minister, had warned her that his affiliation would mean she would not win in legal proceedings. Miss Harvey, who had been Mr. Richardson's landlady, said that he had shown rudeness and disrespect. So we're not going to get into details. Basically, he owes her money, and he tried to use his position to pretty much intimidate and say he's not going to pay it. With all this, folks, I'm not even getting into the politics. Reverend Tweed talked about that in his sermon yesterday, which if you haven't seen, hit us, brother, up. I'll send it to you, right? This is my biggest concern. Because if I've always said the most vulnerable amongst us are children and seniors. So the question of the morning, how can we better protect our seniors? Because if our seniors are being treated like this by people in political positions of power, how are they being treated by those not in the limelight? Some seniors, right? There might be stories like this where they're not in the newspaper because it doesn't necessarily involve a politician. Could be. But how can we, you may have children of seniors treating them this way. How can we better protect our seniors? That's the question of the morning.
I think that we need to put some tools in place. We all know seniors are strong-minded people. Sometimes they could be a little sneaky and they'll go and do things without your knowledge. So trying to put, things in place where, a responsible person is connected maybe to their bank accounts, or that they can only send a certain amount of money to whatever without some type of secondhand support or whatnot. And that's for the seniors that may be dealing with some dementia or dealing with memory loss or those kind of things. But I think at a certain age we have to, or something has to be put in place to protect them. Seniors are not swift when it comes to technology. And that's where they get them all the time. Even when it comes to this rental, was somebody there to assist with it? Was a background track done? Like it's a number of things, Jamal. It's a number of things.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There's a number of things. I don't know what laws are on the books. I'll be very frank. I don't know what laws exist already. But this story bothered me so much. It bothered, and it should bother everyone, that a senior, someone who's lived their life, someone who literally is doing nothing wrong but living and try. I didn't see anything in that story about the house not being kept up, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
That it's disturbing. Let's go to some comments. Go ahead, Shaq. Go ahead.
As I say, it just sounds like you just don't want to pay, and that's not a
Mhm,
good enough reason. Like,
mhm.
just where's our moral responsibility? And we've talked about that before,
Mhm.
just to do right. Just
Yeah.
do right. And I mean, if you can't pay,
Mhm.
communicate. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm unable to do this. What can I do? Have a line of communication, but to use your power
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is not a good enough excuse.
Yeah. Shayna Smith says, strengthen the Abuse Register Act, which many
The
people are
senior.
not even aware. There you go, Shayna. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have the time to look it up, so thank you. And I think you work in this space, so um, there is an act, and I'm gonna have to research and come back and share what that act says. If anyone can do it before I'm able to do that, I'd be grateful for that. Terry K says, honestly, protecting our seniors comes down to those of us that are in that working class generation to stop being selfish and arrogant. Renee Simmons
Yes.
says the arrogance doesn't sit well at all. My question is, how did he get on financial assistance? A sitting senator on. Well, I wasn't going to go there this morning, but because you are the audience and this show is about you, Renee, we may have to go there. Sam Cat plays for you, Sherry.
Morning. Listen. So I'm gonna put my thought out now. He needs to be fired. He needs to pay back the latest rent immediately. The disgust I feel right now for whom he represents, all the rage. I
Terry K.
felt that. Grammy could not could Grammy could do what she wants with that 19K, but this senator needs to be pulled on the carpet for the utter disrespect.
Yeah.
Not utter, Tag.
And
Utter.
Shada Smith says abuse of seniors is rampant in our community and largely underreported. We've got to put a stop to it, folks. And Terry K says, I was today years old to learn about the Senior Abuse Register Act, as was I, Terry. And it's okay. And that's why I appreciate doing this show. That's why we love doing this show, because we're here to learn as well. We're not experts in everything. We're here to lead the conversations and facilitate the conversation with whoever is on the show and ourselves and the audience. So no, thank you for sharing the information. You all sometimes bring the information. You're the experts at various things, and I'm happy for that. And I appreciate that there is an act. But what the thing is, we need to understand the act, because at no point, this is just of one case we know involving a sitting senator, right? That is like, what I would like to hear is, there is a minister, I believe, that oversees seniors, right? This is putting that minister in a predicament.
Yeah.
Knowing that one of her colleagues is treating people that her ministry protects. This is not right.
And like I said, if you don't have the money to pay it or whatnot, but don't use the words that you're not going to get it because of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
audacity. Let's
Yeah.
throw that word out there. The audacity.
Yeah.
To
Mm-hmm.
say that. It's one
Yeah.
thing, to be able to work with others, and then going back to how to protect them. I know out here in the States, and I believe in Bermuda, I'm almost sure that you can have someone to oversee who's
Mm-hmm.
neutral,
Mm-hmm.
a senior's financials and different things like that. And if Shayna could just confirm that, but
Mm-hmm.
they are the persons that will help pay the bills or help do
Mm-hmm.
those things, because I'll be honest, some kids aren't more responsibility to care for their parents and their
Mm-hmm.
things as well. So they bring in a neutral person that helps with that, to ensure that these things are done responsible. But like I said, the internet scams,
Mm-hmm.
telephone calls, this, that, and the other. And if your mind's not where it should be, then
Mm-hmm.
easy targets, and it's just not nice.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You'll go for my seniors at home, be one of the
Mm-hmm.
first things smoking.
Hey, see, that's not a threat, bro. That's a promise. Sam
Listen,
Cat plays for you, Sherry.
yes, the act is there, but it's the enforcement of it's lacking. This
Mm-hmm.
happens too much on this island with this government lack of accountability and enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agreed.
Sean Smith says, sorry for just getting into the show late, but most senior abuse come from immediate family like their children. And I don't
Is that it?
disagree. And that's why I said, I wanted to actually, in the beginning, this is a sad situation because it does involve a sitting senator, right? This particular situation we began the conversation with involving Ms. Harvey, a sitting senator abusing his position, right? However, I think the larger conversation is, as Shana mentioned, and this is her field, this is rampant in Bermuda, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, I have a note written here. And I have written, there are seniors without children who don't have children to look out for them. But then there are seniors with children whose children take advantage of them.
Yeah.
And, as Sam Cat Place says, it's not just about having an act or laws in place. It's about enforcing them to protect the most vulnerable people. As Nachika Trott says, this is a total abuse of power and influence. Folks, I tell you this here. Let's go to Nicole Walker. Putting aside what he allegedly said, because I've only heard one side, he needs to figure out how to settle his debt. This could be my granny. This couldn't be my granny, she says. Well, let me say this. And the reason that I'm not focusing necessarily on Curtis Richardson and his dad, or whatever else came of him, because I think the situation, again, like Friday, folks, it wasn't about Dove and Butterfly or the individual. It was about the bigger picture, right? This is not necessarily about that. We're using these examples to create a better understanding that we can solve in our community. And to me, this is a chance for us to look at outer abuse and fix it and discuss solutions. Because I could tell you this, I'm not making excuses for Mr. Richardson, right? But he is one of many that may be in a situation like this, right? So we need to find solutions in our community to protect our grandmothers and great aunts and great grandparents. I am thankful for my sister because she was able to assist my mother and be around for what she needed. And I speak to people all the time. Our parents or our grandparents, they do a job for us, and we need to return that favor when they grow old.
And be honest with it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because as you said, it's a lot of times it's kids taking advantage as well. And I think there's age concern, which is one of the departments that probably oversees some of these things. However, like I said, we as individuals just need to have a moral compass on what it is that we're going to do. And as Sam Casper or Nicole Walker said, it couldn't be my granny. It's kind of two people I don't play with. Jamal is Mama Patterson and Mr. Roger.
That's only right. We have to protect our elders. We have to.
Yeah.
Shana Smith says an office of the public guardian has been talked about in several throne speeches, but we don't currently have anything in place for those persons who have no support. Leanne Jacqueline Carter says it is utterly disgusting how our seniors are being treated. I know, as I recently have had to deal with it regarding my dad. Faith DeRosa Gilk says, what if this was the senior's only financial means? Who would have helped her? And again, folks, I'm not here to discuss the headlines in the paper today. I saw it. I'm not here to revisit what Reverend Tweed touched on yesterday. We know that this sitting senator was abuse of power. We know that based on the story that was shared in the Gazette that the premier allegedly knew. That's not what we're here to discuss this morning. We're here to discuss how do we correct a problem that is pretty much running rampant in our community that could be, I know we're saying it couldn't be our Grammy, right? But as our grandparents, it could be. But again, it won't last once we find out is what we're saying, right? But as people get older, they lose their ability to think the same, to physically do the same. Mentally, emotionally, and physically, they're different. And as Sean Smith mentioned earlier, a lot of it comes from their own family. How can we better protect our seniors? I tell you what, it's not just about having laws enacted. But I don't believe that in fear. I believe in education. But sometimes you have to strike the fear in people not to mess with your family. You have to. Because again, the most vulnerable amongst us, children and seniors. We have to protect them. Any
And
means necessary. Go ahead, Sharon.
I was gonna say we could, as Shayna said, having something to come into effect at 65 or whatever, whenever the case may be, where the government does, come and check, is this
Mhm,
person okay, is this child okay to oversee, those kind of things. And not to say to get into your business, but let's just put you on a chart to say let's check up on these people as
mhm,
time goes on to see if anything changes. It may not, and
mhm.
that's fine. And but if it does, then we've already had something that is traceable, that we could say that we've looked into these things, and this thing continues to say that things are going well. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this. I'll give you a tip of the day before we bring Leanna in. Here's your tip from me. If you have a family who has an elderly person in the family and they have a caretaker or another relative, or you have a sibling that's taking care of that relative, everyone needs to have access to that account to monitor what is taking place.
Hmm.
If anyone finds something that looks off, then everyone has the opportunity to have a conversation about that. Our seniors do not deserve to be treated less than when most of them, if not all, have given so much so that we can have
Yeah.
what we do. So, my tip to you, check on them, not just, hey, how are you doing? But make sure that they're not being taken advantage of, even by the
Hmm.
very ones who are supposed to love and protect them. Let's go to some comments before we head out. We have Shayna Smith saying education is crucial in this area, as many people are not even aware that their behavior constitutes abuse. You know what?
Mm.
We need to have age concern on this show. We're going to reach out. We're
Yeah.
going to try to have age concern on. I will speak with Shanta, who assists us with getting guests for the show, to get age concern on the show. We're going to bring Leanna in. We're going to have a news break. Then we're going to have another important conversation that you don't want to miss. It's involving the other side, because there are too many young people that say they can't find work. There's no opportunities. They're asking for 5 years experience, and I don't have any. I've never had that problem. And I'm going to tell
Mm.
you how you can avoid it. Let's bring Leanna in. Lee, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I am great, feeling rested, feeling good this Monday morning.
Yeah, we love to hear it. We love to see it. Just bring that energy, girl. Bring
Yeah.
that energy.
Sherry,
We
you
are
were a big
color
miss on
coordinated.
Friday.
Oh, Lee, and today is compliment day. Thank you so much.
You're
I've never seen
welcome.
someone return from rehab so fast, but no, it's great.
Rehab.
Rich.
Oh, so I said I wasn't
I
going to do
mean,
that.
just
I wasn't going to do
but
that.
look how color coordinated we are. That's
You are.
that's
I
my
was going to say,
compliment
look at
for
the
today.
brother and sister. Look at this.
And
It
you bring
might
it together.
Yeah, you got a little
look at
girl,
that.
got a little something in there. We planned it, folks. We planned it. We planned it. We planned it. B, what are your thoughts? I wasn't gonna ask you, but what are your thoughts? I mean, elderly folks.
This was just so heartbreaking to read. I think I read the story maybe 4 times because I didn't know if I was grasping every piece of detail
Mhm,
that was in the newspaper. And I was just like, really?
mm,
Really, it's just so many aspects of it, from the affiliation to the arrogance
Mm.
of it all, to the moving towards, I'm just not, obligated to pay. And then I'm receiving actual funds as a public servant. Like, you're out there to
mm.
be there as a public civil servant. And this is what we're doing. I
Well,
was disgusted, to be completely honest.
I look forward to the resolution on this one, and definitely, folks, keep your ears wide open. This should be an interesting process. Let's see how it's dealt with by the premier and see if it actually, as Shannon Smith said, it's been things have been mentioned in the throne speech. Let's see if anything's actually followed through in the
Yeah.
throne speech. Lee, let's get over to you for your news break, and we'll have the days of the year. After that, then we'll get into our conversation, and we're talking careers, folks. Trust me, you need to be involved in this conversation coming up.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and happy Monday again to all of those who are tuned in with us this morning. We hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, a Bermudian man has been jailed for 4 years in the UK after it was revealed he had been using children to distribute drugs around Brighton. Now, according to a report in the Argus, 40-year-old Kamar Mabry had targeted children between the ages of 13 and 17 years old, and once he was caught, tried to claim he was recruiting them to trade in cryptocurrency. Now, Mabry was arrested back in March 2020 after the mother of a 13-year-old girl was found to be a passenger in his car, which raised concerns about her welfare. Now, following a search of the vehicle, cannabis was found, while a further search of his Dartmouth Crescent home discovered more cannabis plants. A police investigation commenced and found that Mabry had specifically targeted schools and universities to find young people to exploit. Now, he was jailed for 4 years for taking a child without authority and being in possession and cultivating cannabis plants. In other news, it is what some might call a monumental day for those seeking status. After a much awaited period, applications for permanent residence certificates are now being accepted under wider rules for eligibility. Now, PRCs can now be granted to anyone who has lived in Bermuda for at least 20 years after amendments were made to the law last year. Also eligible are non-Bermudian parents of a child with Bermudian status who have lived on the island for at least 15 years. The amendments came into force on December 1st last year, and application forms are available online from the Department of Immigration. And the Ministry of Social Development and Seniors is appealing for people to step up to act as litigation guardians for children and young people going through the court system. For those unsure what the role entails, according to a ministry spokesperson, the litigation guardian is an essential role in the process of assessing what is the best interest of the child who require intervention through the island's court system. Now, if you're looking to put in an application, you'll need to have a minimum of a master's degree in social work or a similar discipline, at least 5 years of practical experience, and demonstrate good teamwork. Also, having exposure to the legal system would be a definite asset, they say, and be prepared to take part in continuing education, training seminars, and conferences. Now, potential litigation guardians will be invited to a familiarization session to be held in the week starting on February 21st. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 70 and a low near 58 degrees. We'll see generally good skies today. After a breezy morning, high pressure builds in, ensuring drier weather and easing wind, but just briefly. Now, low pressure will emerge once again on Tuesday night with more unsettled weather heading our way from midweek into Tuesday. That's all for our Daily Hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But before we go, here are 5 helpful tips for healthier, more quality sleep. So what you want to do is first turn off screens at least 30 minutes, if not 1 hour before bed. Now, that could be cell phones, televisions, laptops, and tablets. 2, if you want to avoid eating in the 2 hours prior to bedtime. Exercising regularly is recommended, but avoid intense exercise at least 3 hours before bed. Try to avoid caffeine and other stimulants at least 4 to 6 hours before bed. And 5, check if your medications are interfering with your sleep. Vitamin D should be taken in the morning. As always, check with your People's Pharmacist if any recent changes in your sleep patterns could be linked to medications or supplements. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, thanks so much for that, Lee. Sherry, I know you. What day of the year is it?
Today is National Compliment Day. I was serious, Jamal, by
I
going
like
all
it.
out with praise. The power of compliment is pretty remarkable. Either giving or receiving can boost your happiness and confidence, making that act a win-win situation. You never know when someone could use good vibes. So spread positivity by giving someone a reason to smile.
Ooh, I
Jamal.
love this one. Jamal, I feel like it's so fitting that you have to give Sherry and I a compliment right now.
Right now.
I
Oh,
love this.
I absolutely can. The best two people on a Monday morning to start your week with. How can I get it wrong?
I don't know. You
I
stumbled over
didn't
the words. It didn't come out
know. I
smooth.
wasn't.
Like
I said the best two morning to start your Monday off with.
there, that's better. And we'll
Okay.
take that, Lee. We'll take
Audience,
it.
I don't know if you're feeling that one as a compliment, but you know what? We'll take it.
My goodness. I mean, I told the truth.
Let's see
Right?
how the audience feels.
Yeah.
How could you not want to start your Monday with these two live? I mean, I hope Jackie and Terry ain't offended. I kind of enjoy them prior, but they're not in the room with me right now. So
That
I'm going
sounded
with you.
really
But
after five.
Jackie and Terry, love you all, but they were threatening me. They pushed me in a corner. But no, I want to say this. I want to say this. I love I noticed over the years I wasn't complimenting people as much. When I was younger, I always used to. And then for some reason I think when compliments started getting taken as other things, like start realizing culturally what was a compliment in Bermuda may not be culturally a compliment in the US, or depending where you were. Honestly, that's what changed me in terms of I can't just say the same thing. So I like a day like this here. Hey, how are you? Like saying, hey, that's a nice dress. It's almost like some people may take offense to that, believe it or not. Hey, your hair looks great today. Oh, it didn't look great yesterday. We just live in such a sensitive time that I somehow changed, and I think it has impacted the way relationships are. But I love it, and I will say I am grateful to do this show with these two ladies on a regular basis, folks. And they may not feel the same way on air, but you gotta see what they tell me in private. I saved the voice notes and messages now. I'm gonna let you know. I saved the messages. You all think I'm joking? Terry would delete her nice message, so I don't play it for you all. Lee ain't like that yet. Not yet.
I hate for this last one. I said, no, I'm gonna stop being nice. He said, oh, I screenshotted this messages.
That's right. That's right.
He's got the receipts. He's got the receipts, Sherry.
Folks, give someone a compliment today. It is National Compliment Day. Make sure you give a compliment. I just want to address this comment. Christine Pierman says, Jamal, I applaud you with how you're dealing with your mom's passing. She had such a great influence on you. I'll tell you what. I only am on air 1 hour a day. And so there are 23 other hours that I have to process what's going on. I've been on bereavement from my job. So it is a process. Grief is a process. But I just know her, like, boy, you better go do that. Like, boy, you bet. I hear her voice. And so for me, it's a process. Don't, think that I have not had my moments and crying and so on and wanting to be alone to process the fact that I can no longer call her or hear her say, oh, who put glass in your Cheerios and stuff like that when she sees me go off on the show. So it's a process, but thank you for acknowledging. And I just want people to understand is everyone will deal with something like this differently. Everyone will deal with it differently, and don't let how I'm dealing with it, because all you see is what you see. All right.
Yeah.
Lee, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
All
Bye,
right.
Lee.
Bye, guys.
All right, Leanna Lambert there, the best in the business, folks. We're going to come right back. We have a big conversation coming up. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
Are you a small business or organization looking for new ways to reach a greater audience? Well, here's your chance to get your ad on BTG Radio, Good Day Bermuda, and Bermuda's daily talk show, The Daily Hour. Send an email to contact@bermudacommunications.com.
Coconut oil has been popular here in Bermuda as a skin moisturizer for generations, but is sometimes avoided in cookery because of its unhealthy reputation. We've witnessed a change in attitudes as recent findings indicate that coconut oil is actually heart healthy and can enhance our immune systems, increase metabolism, energy and endurance, and improve digestion. Nutiva coconut oil is a superfood in its own right, and this month we're featuring Nutiva organic shortening made with organic coconut and red palm oils and also hemp seed oil. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, we've got to have a conversation. We've got to have a conversation. Before we do that, though, let me give you a letter. Today, the first letter is going to be T. T, as in talk, what we do every day. T, as in talk.
Okay.
Yes, that's going to be your first letter for today. T for talk. We'll give you another one later. So T for talk. So I wanted to, we need to have this conversation, right? Let me just go, forgive me. And I want to bring up something. So Courtney Bushner is her name. So she's worked in marketing and social media. She did work with government at the beginning of the pandemic and done a phenomenal job, right? I just admire her so much. But she had written a post, and I'm going to share the post with you real quickly before we get into the question of the morning. She says, I've had a few people ask me this. So here are my tips for getting a job in marketing in Bermuda. Number 1, market yourself. Create a professional Twitter, tweet tips/tricks/network. She says, number 2, get active on, guess where? LinkedIn. I can't stress this enough. Put every single achievement on there and network. Number 3, if you have a bachelor's, great, but you don't need one. Let me repeat. Number 3, if you have a bachelor's, great, but you don't need one. And you don't need a master's too. Refer to number 1. Market yourself. All right. Number 4, she has create a web version of your resume, yourname.com. I have jamalhartman.com. You can go on my website. It's like a resume for me. I've had a website since 2013, 14. I created a website for myself. Number 5, build your portfolio. If you're good at marketing, prove it. And number 6, TikTok. Now, this is for marketing. Let me just share something with you, folks. I see so many people saying that they can't find jobs, they don't have years of experience, this and that. I'm going to share my story with you in a bit, but the question of the morning for the Daily Focus, how can we gain and maintain employment or create opportunities for ourselves so that we're not out of work or looking for income to support our lives? What are your suggestions? What are some solutions where we can gain and maintain employment or create opportunities for ourselves? Do for self.
Well, I think first we have to get out of the mindset that we're only going to be looking for government jobs and that we need to get out of the mindset that we can go ahead and push through and find ways to do this. A lot of times we are told, we are trained, go away to school. I was told this, go away to school, get a degree, come back, work for government, this, that, and the other. And I think also when people are looking at hiring, that yes, they may have an outline of different things that they would like for you to have under your belt, but it would be also worthy to look at what are the things that you do have under your belt that can complement already what it is that you need for a job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sherry, I agree with all you said. I agree with all you said. And I think, especially in Bermuda, there's this vibe where we have to go to college. Let me just be very real with you right now. Everybody has a degree now. Everybody has a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And what maybe some of us weren't told is a degree doesn't guarantee you a damn thing. It doesn't guarantee you anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your degree is in social work or marketing or IT. You've got people doing IT who just get certifications.
She
You've got
mentions that
people,
too.
yeah, folks, it's important. And I'll just share, some of my solutions. And if you have any, folks, please share them. But one of the things she mentioned is LinkedIn. I've stressed LinkedIn on this show. I remember on Good Day Bermuda with Jackie and Terry, they had a young lady, I forget her name on, she worked in the IB sector. She said she doesn't have social media. She only has LinkedIn, the only form, she doesn't have any social media outside of LinkedIn. And I know that it's not maybe something that Bermudians are into, but LinkedIn, if you're trying to network and connect, regardless of industry, it's that one professional space. No, I don't work for LinkedIn. I don't get paid for them. I'm just telling you that it's a space where you can really grow. Kyla Evans was the name. Thank you so much, Terry, for that. Let's go to the comments, and I'll speak of some of my ideas and solutions in a bit. Talent TJ Clark says, think what Bermuda needs and find a way to supply it, right? This is business, period. You've got to find something to fill a need. Don't just go and do something because you like to do it. But think about what problems exist and how you can solve them. That's how you should look at a career. He goes on to say, don't provide something that oversaturates the market if it's already out there. Utilize BEDC and Ignite in order to network and find investors. It's really talent that simple. It's really that easy, yeah? It's that easy. Go ahead, Sharon.
I don't have a radio or journalist degree at all.
Yeah.
Never went to school for it, never did anything, but just had a passion about what it is. And I've said it many times, I said to Carly Butts, I'll work for you for free. He was like, what do you have? What kind of background? I said, nothing, but I'm willing to learn. 2 weeks later, he called. And everything that I know, I learned. So, but I wanted to. And I didn't know which part that I was going to fall into, but I wanted to learn.
I think you make a great point. Degrees don't guarantee you anything. I love to see someone with an anthropology degree working in PR. I love to see someone with a mathematics degree, right, working in marketing. I have 4 degrees. I have 2 associate's degrees, one in computerized business management, another in video and radio production, and then I have a bachelor's of science in business management technology, and then I have a master's of business administration and organizational leadership. Those degrees didn't guarantee me anything.
Yeah.
My story actually began, I realized early in life that manual labor, that kind of work wasn't me. I had uncles that were entrepreneurs, the construction, and my dad was an electrician. I didn't want to do that kind of work. And so for me, it was about engaging the people who I wanted to work with. It was finding spaces. So do you remember Monster.com, Sherry? It was
yes.
like Indeed. Yeah, Monster.com. And my resume put it on there. And that's the other thing. Resumes, folks. Resumes don't get you a job. A resume is there to get you an interview. That's what a resume is to do. Once you get the interview, it's up to you to sell yourself to that potential employer. Guess what? Wait for it now. Not why they should hire you, but how you can improve their organization. That's what they want.
Yeah.
And that's how we have to shift our mindset. So the idea that, I need 5 years experience, you can get that 5 years experience. I'm going to tell you how to do it. There's different organizations that you can join. You know where I got my first radio experience? I served as the first president of my school's radio station in college. That's where I got my first experience before going on to Radio Disney, doing chicken dances to get experience at events, and then landing as the morning show producer on a country radio station.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how I got back to Bermuda and fell in a space that gave me an opportunity.
Yeah.
Networking, but hold on, Sherry. Let me just share this because I'm going to go back to the comments. Networking and connecting is important, but it's important when you do it with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just repeat. Do it with the right people. Why is this important, folks? It's not about likes and follows. I'm not saying network and follow the person with the loudest voice on social media that can't do anything for you. Some of the most influential people who can help your career probably don't have social media accounts. I repeat, some of the most influential people who can help your career probably don't have Instagram or Facebook or TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have LinkedIn though. Let me go to my next point, Sharon. I just mentioned how I went and joined different organizations and from a chicken dance to where we are now. Those experiences I wouldn't change for the world.
Yeah.
I was out of my comfort zone. I'm from Marsh Folly in Bermuda. I was on a country radio station working for the Walt Disney Company. Getting paid nothing, pretty much. Very low. But the experiences assisted me. And, folks, this is the biggest thing here. I repeat, I mentioned it earlier, Sherry. Everyone has a degree. What are you doing to stand out? What are you doing to separate yourself? What are you doing to give yourself a leg up on the competition?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can hold a job for a long time. That's not a skill.
And
help that company during that time. Go ahead, Sherry.
And I was going to say, and a lot of it has to do too with what you are passionate about. I've said it before, and I think you'll do what you love and do it for free, because the money will come at some point. As I stated, I did work for free because I wanted to know more. I wanted to be there, lost sleep, bags under eyes, did all of these things, cried in the booth, said a whole lot of things, didn't know how to do commercials and voiceovers. But I was like, I want to know, I want to learn, I want to, do all of these things. And then that snowballed the network, as you said, into various different industries with various different people that I didn't even know existed.
And since you're on that, Shikarena.
Learn how to do other things other than what you initially trained for. Careers change. You will probably not always be doing what your degree certificate says. Learn as you go. Exactly what I did.
Literally just said to you all. That's literally, and folks, I remember my godfather, he's from Atlanta, lives in Atlanta from New Jersey. And he asked me, how'd you go from media to tourism? And your skills have to be transferable, folks. We're living in a time where, we spoke about transferable skills on the show before. If you're a bartender, you're a salesperson. You can, if the bars are closed because of COVID, you can go out and sell beverages to restaurants or stores where people can purchase them. Like, you have sales in you. So transferable skills. Sherry is a social worker. She uses their skill. Look at her mannerisms compared to mine, folks. I'm not even joking. Like, look at how she engages with you over me. You can see it in her. You can see it in her. Telling TJ Clark, Sherry.
The amount of investors on the island has increased 10 times. Go out there, work on your pitch, and find them. And it's, you got to get in the room. It's like I said, I pulled right up next to him. I was looking at Carly West. I was like, you know what? He could only tell me no. And I just was like, and you just go ahead, and they could only tell you no. And if not, then who's next? Jamal Hartman. Let me go talk to him.
Shoot your shot. You won't know if you're going to make it or miss if you don't take that shot. Michelle White says, second, people looking for work must think outside the box and also stretch themselves. Yes. What problems can they solve? This is a true question. Everyone has something to share. Find your source. Cousin Mark says, Jamal, you got pure papers. Congrats. But see, I'll touch on that. I'll apply for jobs and not put my degrees down, because I believe in what I can do to improve a company or situation. So you don't hear me speaking about I have a master's degree, or this or that. Some people found out today, because I don't rely on my academic background to get me or opportunities. I rely on what I believe I can do. Like if I'm out of work, I'm not just going to apply for any job. I'm not going to apply for an IT sales job. I don't care or understand or have any interest in it. So I'm going to look for something that aligns with my skill set and where I believe I can make a difference. So, folks, back to passion. I will say I do have a problem with passion when people rely on passion alone, because you've got some passionate people who are just not good at what they love to do. And if that's the case, then you need to honestly find little skills and courses. Like for me, folks, I read a lot now. Like even with this, ordered a book last night on Amazon on how to become a better presenter doing this show, because there's always room for improvement. So you have to, that's another point. We have to constantly be learning. Nachika Trott and Michelle White for you, Sherry.
Keep corn in the field you wish to enter, attend conferences and networking opportunities, and reach out to persons who work in your field to seek advice. I did that. Don't start about resumes. The ones I've seen would make your toes curls. People don't realize that resume is you on paper. Present atrocious resume means you disrespect my company.
Yeah. I get it. Sean Smith says, one must give before they can receive. What are you prepared to do for that person you want to work for? Yeah. If you want to work for someone else, you have to be, show them what you can do. Look, we've been taught that resumes, we should show what we've done for others. You need to create a resume that literally shows what you can do for them. Think about that before you answer. That's what companies want to know. They want to know, what can you do? Remember, the resume is just to get you to the interview stage. Once you're in that interview stage, you better deliver. Michelle White says, on the other side, how flexible are employers willing to be to allow one to learn as you go? Are they open to identify transferable skills, create a resume that will make them think of you? Well, I think that comes down to us using our own websites. Like I said, I've had jamalhartman.com. Actually, I'm going to make sure my website's still up, because that you got to pay for that stuff. And I don't want you all saying, go ahead, Sherry.
I'm just laughing at you, but you're right.
Still there, jamalhartman.com. Go ahead, sorry.
As I was say, as a social worker, I've been taught how to do interview skills. I do forensic interviewing kids, interviewing adults, and how to get information and have these conversations and be able to do all of those things. That is a transferable skill to what I'm doing now and done before. Even just like I said, doing commercials and doing stuff and learning the radio board. And I wanted to know that, and they always say, closed mouths don't get fed. Remember that. Closed mouths don't get, if you keep your mouth closed, you're not going to get fed. I open my mouth, even through tears and stuff. And, I wanted to steal. I would go in the bathroom, wipe it, shake it off, Sherry, let's do this, because I wanted it.
Indeed. You heard her, folks. Hey, it's not always going to be easy. You may cry. No. It may hurt. The opportunities, remember, everybody's fighting for the same thing. You've got to go that extra mile. Monica Dunstan says, thanks for the motivation, guys. I've been thinking about a change for a few years now, but I'm too afraid to take the leap. Monica,
leap.
One of the things I learned upon, I knew it before his death, but I highlighted to people. Kobe Bryant passed away, I believe, 3 years this Wednesday. And one of the things I always admired about Kobe Bryant was, while we remember him as one of the greats, winning 5 rings with the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant has the record for the most missed shots in NBA history. The most missed shots in NBA history.
I thought Shaq was close. No?
Shaq didn't take that many shots.
He was free throws, I think. Three.
Yeah, Shaq couldn't make a free throw. But Kobe Bryant has the record for the most missed shots in NBA history. Part of that is because he played much longer. He was out of high school, right? But I say this, and I use this example. Had he not taken those shots, we probably won't know him as the player that we do.
Yeah.
Craig Simmons, the economist, said, I believe 90% of new businesses may fail, but that's okay. It's okay. I've had multiple failed businesses, but look where we are. Most entrepreneurs didn't work out for them. Remember, the late Steve Jobs was fired from his own company and went back years later. Folks, I tell you this. To wrap this up, everyone wants to be successful. A lot of people have what you have. It's up to each and every one of us to figure out what we can do to give ourselves the best chance at being successful in what it is that we want to do. Let's wrap it up with Sheikah Rayna's comment. She says, I've interviewed so many qualified candidates who completely bomb in the interview and I can't score them well, even though I know they can do the job. Please be prepared to talk about your skills. And that we'll wrap it up on that. Folks, we'll be back after this message. We'll wrap up this show with your daily play. We'll also have the second letter of the day. If you haven't, do me a favor. Do us a favor. If you like Sherry, do her the favor. Go to thedailyhour.com and subscribe to our website. We'll have some really pretty cool guests coming up. Not only we'll have Darren Woods and the Pastor Leroy Bean from the Gang Reduction coming on tomorrow. And we'll also have Sir John Swan coming up very soon. So we have some really good content coming up. But make sure you subscribe to stay alert. And if you don't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Stick with us. Coming right back after this for more Daily Hour.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty. Thanks again to Medical's People's Pharmacy, Lindo's, and One Communications for their continuous support. Second letter for the day is going to be A for Apple. A for Apple. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We definitely appreciate your support. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Sherry, are you ready?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. She's listening. Help her out, folks. Quote, the old law of an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. End quote.
Who should know that? Did somebody say who? Eye for an eye, tooth to a tooth.
Help her out, folks. Who said it? Okay.
Say it again.
We'll do it. Oh, somebody's like, is it Gandhi? No, it's not
Gandhi. Who's Gandhi?
It's not Gandhi.
Sound like it's sexy. You're supposed to read the question again while you're trying to find
the old law of an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind.
Mandela? I don't know.
Sherry.
It's a New Year. Can we not have that in the background? MLK. I learned something each day.
You know, last week we didn't necessarily celebrate his birthday, so we did an MLK quote today. So Nachika Trot, got it? MLK, Dr. Martin Luther King.
All right,
Yeah. Anyway,
makes sense.
folks, again, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube
I
page,
need
subscribe to
extra
our website.
time and skill.
What's any final thoughts on today's show, Sherry?
I just said I need extra time and skill. Like I'm just saying, but nevertheless, here
Some of
we
us doing
are.
differently from others.
But protect our seniors. Protect our seniors. I'm talking of you. Protect our seniors, and put things in place. And it's an unfortunate situation for Miss Harvey, and I'm sure her family is rallying behind trying to do this, sort out this situation. But even just as a human, your moral compass, your moral responsibility, pay your bills.
All
And
right,
that
next.
and that of the like. And when it comes into LinkedIn and just agrees, like you don't, just be I still feel be passionate about what it is that you want to do, but be passionate in a way that you're gonna find these tools and everything to
Yeah,
support your passion
we
moving
just run out
forward,
of
if
time,
that
Bob.
makes
So
sense.
I'm just going to cut you short, but I want to say this much.
Sorry.
The as far as the seniors, at the end of the day, we need to protect them. We need to do better as a community. Don't wait until it happens to one of your loved ones. As I stated, Sean Smith mentioned it earlier. It usually happens with family members taking advantage of family members. We cannot allow that. Everyone needs to be taken, even our family members without children. We need to take care of our family, make sure that we're protecting the most vulnerable in our families. As far as the conversation regarding careers and so on, folks, the opportunities are there. And sometimes we have to use the skills that we have to create our own opportunities for success. Daily inspiration, Sherry?
No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. Who said that?
I love that.
Robin Williams.
Good stuff. Robin Williams, late Robin Williams, the comedian, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. All right. I like that one. That is something to take with us today. Don't forget, it's National Compliment Day, Sherry said, right, folks? So give somebody a compliment. Make them smile on this Monday morning. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, do your best. Compliment somebody. Make it a safe and great day. We're about to peace out.